Are you against animal abuse? You're not against animal abuse. Do you know what animal abuse is? Do you know what I'm saying?
Very theoretical, but I never conscious about it's dangerous for the animals, the other.
You never thought about what's happening to them?
Yes, I know.
I'm sorry, do you understand what I mean by animal abuse?
I understand.
Yeah. And so are you against animal abuse?
Sorry.
Okay, so animal abuse means torture, murder, enslavement. When humans do this to non-human animals, do you think that's wrong? Or do you think it's okay? You think this is okay?
No.
Yeah, so you think it's wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what we would call animal abuse. So if you're against animal abuse, what do you think you can do about it as an individual?
I want to stop eating pork, beef, but it's very difficult because always I eating beef or fish but I have 31 years old and never I changed my habit for eating. You understand?
Yes, I do.
But I know this is the big problem. But how is it the same?
What is the same?
This industry.
Yeah. Is that a question?
Question. I think it's very dangerous for the animals.
Yeah.
The human is die all the time, diet of animals or the other species. But I don't know what is the correct solution myself.
Would you like to know?
Vegan or vegetarian?
Yeah.
Is the correct
Vegan.
No vegetarian. Why?
Because vegetarianism doesn't address the issue.
Okay.
Vegetarians stop eating flesh, but they still eat dairy and eggs. They still wear leather, wool, down, silk. They still go to zoos. They still buy products that are tested on animals. Veganism is an ethical stance against animal abuse. If you can't imagine yourself in the animal's position, then that's all you need to be vegan. I know it might be hard for you.
Are you vegan?
Yes, we are all vegan here. Yes.
How many years old?
Me, about 8.
8.
Nearly 9 years, yeah. So my question to you is, do you think it's harder for you as a human being to make that choice to be vegan, or harder for the animals?
It's better to be vegan. No?
Yeah. It's not very hard for you as a human being to make that choice to be vegan when you compare it to the lack of choice that animals have.
How to start to be vegan?
By thinking about the victims. First things first, you put the victims first. The rest will fall into place. Okay? So whenever you're in a situation where you can choose between a chicken burger or a veggie burger, or whatever the choice options may
Do you
be.
think around the world is easy to be vegan?
In most countries, yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I am Latin America. In Latin America, it's very, very hard to be vegan because don't have a lot of option for to eat.
Rice and beans, baby.
All the time?
Not all the time, but that's a basic foundational meal.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say is you can always get rice and beans.
Okay.
You can always get potatoes
What do
and
you
corn.
think? What do you think? Is better vegan any in the moment, or is better step by step?
What do you
The
think?
fears?
What do you think? From the animal's perspective, what do you think?
For me, no, I love this structure. I love the people to be vegan, but maybe my mind is very difficult to change because step by step is the fears don't hit meat, and the other step don't hit pork, and other step is don't eat animals, for example, and I don't know what is the time in years or in months for I be vegan.
Yeah. You want to know what the acceptable amount of time is?
Yeah,
Think of yourself in the victim's position.
yeah, I know.
If you're the victim we're talking about, would you want your oppressor to stop harming you in a year,
No,
or eventually, or immediately?
immediately.
And that's the answer. This is about justice. Okay? So when it comes to racism or child abuse or any other injustice, would you take your time to stop being a part of that? To stop being responsible for it? Or would you stop it immediately? You know, and the answer is really that simple.
Yeah.
In order to be vegan, you need to understand why, and that's all you need to really focus on is why. How is really easy. How is the easiest part of this whole equation. Okay? You have to put yourself in their position.
I try. And the next time, you and me talking about this.
Okay, but when you say you try, again, if you're the victim, would you accept someone trying?
My freezer is full today. I went to supermarket yesterday.
I understand.
I bought eggs, milk, beef, and
But if you commit to being vegan, then you will make sure that you don't buy any more. Are you willing to commit to that?
yeah.
Well, I think that's acceptable because you are making a serious commitment to being vegan. If you can afford it, then I would ask you to put those body parts that you have in your freezer in the ground and bury them.
Okay.
But if you can't afford it, then I understand that you, from now on, will at least commit to never buying any more and then making that serious transition as of today to being vegan. When I asked you earlier, are you against animal abuse? I think it's evident that you are, because I can tell by talking to you that you don't like what you're seeing, you know it's wrong. You said that this is wrong, remember?
Yeah.
So, do you know what the number one benefit is of being vegan? Guess.
The loss to height? No?
No.
Where is the
Your health
yeah. Crest?
is separate.
Oh, okay.
Your health is separate to this.
For the animals.
That's correct. From the animal's point of view, they will no longer be harmed because of you. From your point of view, whenever you say, I am against animal abuse, you will no longer be a hypocrite. You will no longer be an animal abuser. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Your health benefits are conditional. It depends on how you eat a vegan diet. You have to eat a whole foods plant-based diet, but that's about being healthy. That's about taking care of yourself. That's why it's a separate topic to what we're discussing here, which is animal abuse. We're talking about animal rights violations here, and that's why it's a separate topic. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I understand.
So what do you think you'll do? Because I know you said you'll try, but again, if you're the victim and I'm oppressing you, would you find it acceptable if I said, I'll try to stop harming you? Or would you want me to just stop immediately? Now, we've talked about your freezer, I get it.
Yeah.
And I'm giving you what I think you should do about the freezer.
I am
what will
being
you do?
honest for you. Maybe this conversation is very good for me because they open my mind about the reasons for the no vegan or no vegetarian or no my head. As the reason is there for the
Animal rights, that's right.
Yeah.
Is that something you have considered before, or is this the first time you're considering it?
It's the first time.
It's the first time,
Really.
okay.
Really, it's the first time. I am being honest. I can't go to my home and take out all my food or the rubbish.
You can't?
I can't.
No?
No.
Why? Because you can't afford it, or what's the reason?
Is the reason is because I am study here. I have a part-time job.
So you can't afford it. I
need
understand.
money.
I understand. I understand.
But the next time when I go to the supermarket, I remember this.
Yeah. Look, I speak from the animal's perspective. I speak on their behalf. So, of course, I'm going to tell you to stop immediately.
Yeah.
Because that's what they need. That's what you would need if you were in their position also.
Okay.
But from now on, you will only be responsible for vegan foods, plants. Then that's a lot better, because I would prefer that than...
I will do it. I will do it. Thank you, brother.
Good shit. Let me give you a card, okay? So I'm glad to hear that you will do it.
Okay.
But if you're not convinced to be vegan as of today, or when you finish what's in your freezer, then I recommend that you watch the best speech you will ever hear, which is free to watch on YouTube. You can also go to our website.
Maybe I
Which is
watch
on there?
all that.
And those scenes are taken from a documentary called Dominion, which is also free to watch on YouTube. It's at the bottom.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you for stopping, okay?